Hello, Music Multiverse listeners. Hey, welcome back to episode 4 of Album Reviews, Saturdays 2026. You want album reviews? You want wild, outrageous comments, manic opinions, neatly tied to a bunch of releases? How many we don't know until we get to the show. You want if you want all that, you're in the right place. If you want Farleyisms, where it's a great album. It's fantastic.
Berkeley.
Same old, same old. Well, you're in the wrong place. I reviewed these 3 albums behind me on ourbeyondyourradio.com, but this show is an extension of the links and clearly written non-AI driven reviews. But this is, again, the place. Why? Because you don't get damn unless you come to the place. Deb Armitage Hicks Maloney. She's in on the discussion almost every week. This is off script, additional musical opinions and fun facts brought to you by Deb Armitage Hicks Maloney.
Hello.
My partner in musical listening crime, some of it against her will. Yes, of course. And of course, we know that's not enough. You got to have more. So we give you 3 more album reviews that are not pictured behind. So. And in fact, Dam herself brought one of these to our attention with "You Should Listen To" episode. So we'll hear how that worked out.
Okay.
Yeah, more pressure.
Yes.
So sometimes the music listening experience is a long, hard road. I believe there's a lyrical line that's a long, hard road out of hell. There are just some recordings you will not get, no matter the ear, the tone, the exuberant gift given off. Despite your attempts, the juxtapositioning of your mindset, reset, try this again. There will be albums seem like a truly bad idea at their very conceptual start. And then there's nothing the execution will be able to do to save them from an executable review. However, away you go because you love that artist, that music, the attempt, or it's just plain martyrdom or morbid curiosity that sends you into audio harm's way. Will that be the case for our late 80s superstar going all croon and tie on a late night old world musical crawl? Does an obtuse recording project bear fruit, maybe French fruit or frou-frou, and unexplainable genres as they go into their avant-gurgleism? Can a band that calls itself almost Gaudian-like with its spelling challenge name under the influence of all that has made them a holy metal label for years and years save us from the overall potential for a 3-way disaster? Or am I just creating all of this for, I don't know, clickbait? Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really good at that, aren't I?
No. Yeah, you are.
However, maybe this is the perfect time to lay down some rules that are usually never meant to be broken. All right? Pay close attention, all you music makers out there. And you could be a pro. You could be brand new. You could be just thinking about trying to do this. 1, can you do this over should you do this? Always side on should you. Number 2, audio challenging recordings are reserved for those with sound intentions. Oh, Confucius say. When you give us a cover with intentions, make it the best representation of the intention. Otherwise, well, purchase bait is a criminal offense to us all. Welcome to Worrisome Audio Education. Oh, no! On this album review, episode 4. Let's start off with Richard Mark's After Hours. I knew it right from the cover. Lesson number 1. In all that is holy in the music multiverse, I already stated it. Leave to the extraordinary crooners what is rendered to them by them and all their greatness. So give to Caesar what is Caesar's and leave it there and walk away and don't look Caesar in the eye ever.
Oh
There is
no.
no signature that you can bring. There's no stamp on anything that you will stamp on this and you accept having your history stamped out like a cigarette on concrete. I don't care how dressed up you are or how much expensive bubbly is poured from a magical ice sculpture. The mixture is not meant for you. It is meant for a time and a place. You are not the place, and you have no idea of the time. There you go. Don't get me wrong. There are those of this time that were born for that time, and they are they pop up from time to time, and they are immediately recognizable by their nerdiness. I don't think they're nerdy. They do come on those shows that never lead to anybody ever getting superstardom ever, except on the show they were on. It usually never comes from it. Okay, why on this wide world of wonderful music would you decide to throw yourself down with more reckless abandon than the Rat Pack drunken escape or escapades that could happen after hours?
Ew.
No, what happens in Vegas never stays in Vegas anymore. And I'm not even sure back then it stayed there. Okay. It just took longer to get there. I didn't look to see if this album was actually made there because I already knew where I was going. It probably wasn't made anywhere special. It doesn't sound that way. The music doesn't act that way, mostly. The guests are fine, courageous friends of Richard Marx. Good for them. Sign of the cross. The way you look tonight is exactly the way it looked and felt back then. So why do it again? Oh, yes, Richard Marx still has a pretty good voice. Damn good voice, actually. Can he hold the ballad? Definitely. Can he rock out and hit that note he really couldn't hit at the beginning of his career in actuality, which made it more popular and fantastic? Maybe, maybe not. But it's the way we remember him. Creative pop rocker with a sensitive approach that leads to this wonderful rock contemporary male and female adjoining love for music. Why did he get there? Because his music entered both aisles of the spectrum of those that exist on this planet. Hell, maybe even animals loved him. I don't know. It's the most like Bad Company, like a Fleetwood Mac. Oh, did I just say that? It's that brings that together generously and sometimes vigorously. Remember Rush Street? If you don't remember that took us to Hazard, and no, not the Dukes of Hazzard. So there's that approach too. Sadly, though, this is where I felt that this has been heading. And After Hours is the full 9 yards into the retirement nursing home minded, nearly always wearing a tuxedo or tuxedo jacket, always on the cover career moment. And he's been doing that for several years now. Okay. Damn it. Snap out of it, man. I wanted to just grab him. I feel like my boy's being led to slaughter like a fatted calf. I want to be the boisterous version of Charlotte. Yeah, from Charlotte's Web, for those of you still following me, to get him off of this drug deal thing what he's on. I don't know, he's on like some sort of musical Prozac. This is some talent being wasted. There are other ways to go, man, right? It's better to burn out than to fade away. Look at Robert Plant. And I'm not saying you got to do that kind of thing, but damn it, man. Damn, help me.
Well, this is the kind of music that, brings me back to growing up and being down in the basement in my little house in Love Canal. Yes, you don't go into the basement in Love Canal, but we didn't know that then. Um, and my dad would put these kind of albums on, and I'd dance with him down there, 4 years old, my feet on top of his feet. And he's actually the one that taught me how to dance, like, when you saw our gang going to dance, class and that kind of thing. And I loved it, and it great memories, and I still have this place for the people like Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, and this wasn't it. And it's upsetting because as a human being, I love this guy. Like he's a huge philanthropist. He raises money for, cystic fibrosis and New York NYU Medical Center. And he he's the only male artist to have his first seven singles reach the top five. Okay, well, you're not going to reach the top five with any of these songs. They're so generic and overdone. And if you're going to do something like this, you have to bring a different twist to it, as far as I'm concerned. Um, but interesting enough, his dad was a jazz pianist and a jingle composer, and Richard performed at age 5 on an Arm& and Hammer commercial and a Nestle Crunch commercial, just so that you know. He also was a backup vocal for Lionel Richie's
Yeah.
All Night Long. That's cool. And one of his mentors is Tom Jones. So that's probably where this is coming from. I don't know if he's getting to that age where we get to the good old days, want the good old days to come back. I don't know if that's where he was going with this. The songs were very familiar, but like I said, nothing standing out to me. Um, Rod Stewart, I don't even think of yeah, I mean, what's he, 80 years old?
Rod Rod
Okay.
Rod did the songbook 3 times over. It,
And then you got Kenny G in there. And I have to say though, I did like the song that was co-written with his wife, Daisy Fuentes, just because Magic Hour is a little different than the other songs on here.
You walked in the door with someone, wasn't me, but our eyes were destined to meet. It was in the stars, and now here we are. It's the magic hour. There was something so familiar in your stare, like we had been lovers somewhere. Why are we apart? You can feel the spark. It's the magic hour.
So I don't know. I'm standing where you are, Mark. And it's not because you kind of hinted at it with me earlier in the week. I came to the conclusion on my own. And I have more of a real time appreciation for this music than you do. I'm 10 years older than you. So I actually can remember this being in my household from a very young age. And my dad was the quintessential crooner type guy. He couldn't sing, but he sure dressed like it, just like him right there.
there you go.
So that's what
Here
I
are
say. Sorry, Richard.
here are some positive takeaways.
Uh-huh.
Magic Hour, yes, has a pretty darn good session of Latin expressionism that sounds pretty darn big. There's a moment even where the music kind of pauses, allowing Marx to try his version of the croon to big band kind of thing, and that works. And we
Uh-huh.
all love a moonlit serenade, but not like this. Now that worked out nicely. For those of you playing along, these are titles of songs, and they just fit into sentences as we go. It's horrible. I'm not even sure that what I'm trying to say by any of this, to be honest with you. The recording of his vocal here is extremely nice. It's balanced. Yes, I can do this too, and but I don't have a name to ruin.
Oh no.
You can imagine the setting. You can imagine the feeling. And perhaps you actually purchased tickets to see him do this in this realm. Okay? That might be the only way I allow this. All right? We all go beyond your radio. Richard obviously feels really bad at what he's done to me. And we get to go to a show at Caesar's Palace, but it's a club at Caesar's. It's not your standard fare. These are table places, not an amphitheater, right? And
Yes.
he's up there doing his thing, right? And it's lovely. It's an inspiring moment, sort of like Dre and Tomei, who's in here. Dre Tomei, a Latin artist. She's really nice in this. Days of You, I think the song is called. It's a duet moment. Elegant choices, maybe an Al Di Meola moment or two, a rumba beat. All right. But it all works only if you're there at the table with the candle. It's probably a fake
Yeah.
candle. Son of a bitch.
I know.
But however, that's where I feel I might go, wow. wow, this is a nice
Yeah.
moment. And I'm dressed well, right?
Yes.
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 Wait a
And you got
minute.
a cigarette.
Yes, I got a cigarette. However, our pace moves to swinging, and they're trying to swing for the fences in a variety of tempos, giving off maybe the closest thing to memory of his pop rock delivery in "Forget to Remember," but in
Mm-hmm.
others, a bit more back to the crooning American songbook approach. So, there's a moment just where I found myself moving
Okay.
like this. Curse it. You know, it feels so nice, but it's just not what it should be. I don't hear next level, and except in a few places. I hear the vocal that can handle itself still. I don't want it this way. All right. I would raise a glass to a live participation, right? Which I already stated. But this would definitely give it a sense of placement and an expressional moment in a small club. I've seen the great Colin James do big band. All right. He's got his guitar and he's jumping from table to table. He's owning it. This is not owning it. After Hours has some moments of that, and it might even be a new interpretation for those listeners that have kind of been stuck in a nursing home where the thick layer of dust on the mantle where those records are, they can't reach anymore, right? And it's just become commonplace. Marx's attempt is fine, but in the end, it's futile. All right. Usually is not something that once dipped in, you can escape from either. Ask that famous man that's already on the record, Rod Stewart, because he had to do it multiple times over because it was everyone so loved it. Because he was on Young at Heart. It really
Yes.
doesn't become that way.
Mm-mm.
I'd like to remember Manhattan. Woody
Mm.
wasn't wrong. Remember Manhattan and don't mean nothing and hold on to the night and those 7 other songs before you say so long.
Oh God. Sorry, Richard.
So we move from After Hours to Shoo Shoo. Shoo, motherfucking Shoo, Volume 1. That's right. Jamie Stewart has left the band and it's Samuel L. Jackson now. No. Samuel's on Tulsa King, though. To know Shoo Shoo, you have to be ready for several alarming and hurtful things. You
Oh.
need to be ready for your bicycle seat to fall off, impaling you to the bar, the bike, or worse. The
Oh.
impact of a high heel stomp, accidentally or otherwise, to your big toe. Insert your exclamation point here, your exclamation mark here, your swear word. Or there's always the intentional swift kick to the teeth that you were expecting to the groin, but in completely overshot, overhyped, and jacked like Jet Li, this band missed the mark of the groin and hit you in the teeth. Again, insert your painful exclamation point here, along with the missing teeth or blood-soaked tongue gut. I don't even know if you can get tongue gut unless you're really whacked pretty good. What
Ooh.
is it with this Los Angeles band, the experimental music? Um, Notice I didn't put it in a genre. I don't know how
Yeah.
you do it.
I don't.
And in other words, to this band's album, trying to find a definition. Good
Ugh.
fucking luck. All right. It's also incredible that such a commonly named artist,
Yes.
Jamie Stewart, all right,
Yeah.
you don't understand why. No, that's James Stewart. How this comes to be. If you don't, I'll do my best to give you an audio placement that won't send you to the emergency room right away. This is exactly where Jamie Stewart started. I didn't realize that at the beginning. Returning home to the strange parody is a Bajas cover band when he started. Sound oddity that bored into audio hole, bored like an audio hole into the multiverse of music, using those very same chosen artists that actually are covered here. This is the sound decision of Shoo Shoo and where and what it sounds like a lot of the time. It's the vitality of the vocal uncertainty that kind of ranges from a Robert Smith of The Cure to the violence of a Trent Reznor, although neither of these two songs show up on this covers, which is interesting. Instead, we get Throbbing Gristle and Coil. Okay. And quite possibly an uncontrolled, exceptionally sharp and odd, drunken, mismatched, tortured Annie Lennox, while still maintaining some slow, I don't know, crooner charm, like in Dreams, where he tries to pull off Roy Orbison. I don't know whether
Yeah,
he's trying to pull off Roy Orbison's skin
that's what I. Poor Roy.
This is a band that just loves the dark. The dark is good.
Yeah.
And this is a far cry left and right from anything a genre could even attempt to be labeled. And on this incredibly poorly titled record, in my humble opinion, the band is now at 15, following up another avant-garde record in 2024, 13 Frank Beltram Italian Stiletto with bison horn grips. What?
Oh,
Yeah. It's
okay.
unpredictable sound choices that certainly have a unique stamping device that they're hard to predict, sometimes get into, or find a flow or an understanding that finally makes, I don't know, might make a full-time connection. I have the first two albums because I was,
Really?
I was exploring all that. What it sounds like is not what it feels like. What you believe is flow can be a stream of exacerbating struggles for control or positioning. Peace and violence don't naturally sound good together, but in actuality, they live together in our world. Damn.
Oh God. Yeah, Jamie Stewart in that name and in this band, very confusing to me. I thought I knew it was gonna come about by me listening to this, but it totally threw me off. The name is inspired by a 1998 Chinese film, where the film they identified with the main character's tragic realization that every effort to improve her life only made it worse. I can so I can so relate.
Who
So
hasn't
right there,
who hasn't been there,
every day, I keep doing all these things that my therapist tells me to do, and I go, that's why she keeps me in her grips. So interesting enough, his dad produced Billy Joel's Piano
I
Man. Did you know
know.
that?
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And his uncle wrote the Monkees' Daydream Believer.
Oh, that might make sense.
Yeah,
He must
but
have been the oddball out of the bunch.
yeah, maybe. But I love when I can find those little things, and then I'm always second guessing myself, going, "Did I look up the right person?" So don't fact check me, people, if you know me by now. Um, his influences are The Cure, Joy Division, Nine Inch Nails, but also Rihanna and the Pussycat Dolls. And not surprising after I listen to some of these songs that some of the reviewers are saying that the style is supposed to be a shape-shifting style of these covers. But Yoko Ono. Uh, and I could feel that in certain places. I knew that at least a few of these were covers because of my ability to recognize them, but a few of them were songs that I didn't know in the first place, so I would never know that they were covers. But yeah, Psycho Killer, and I know you love the Talking Heads, but I enjoyed it just because I haven't heard it in a while. However, it sounded so much like the Talking Heads compared to some of these others. I felt that Dancing on My Own, again, I wrote these notes before I knew that they were all covers.
The
But Dancing
Robin
on
song,
My Own,
right?
yeah, yes, I felt The Cure in that. So I could see that some of these songs that they chose to cover do kind of go back to what his influences are. I felt that, like in Dreams, you talked about in Dreams,
Hmm.
it attempted to be soothing. That's where I think Yoko came in. I went, oh no, this is like
Could Roy
nails on his,
Orbison continue to sing this song while his skin is being pulled off?
yes, and the nails on the chalkboard or nails on his skin. Warm Leatherette. It was interesting, but it was too long that it lost the appeal for me.
Okay, I get you.
You know, I thought Liquor Some and Cherry Bomb, I thought they were both catchy and groovy.
Hmm.
I mean, I felt that this wasn't one of those albums that we're going to get on to another one here. It wasn't totally off-putting for me. It it actually caught my imagination a little bit, especially when I learned more about him and he wasn't from China and
But
then who
highly
his
influenced.
dad was.
Went to Vietnam, and that, I mean, didn't go to for war. Went there
No,
and then all of a sudden got
for the
influenced by
culture.
that culture of the rhythm of that
Yes.
culture, and the
Hmm.
even Indian culture too. It seems like with those
Oh yeah, there's
percussion instruments.
definitely some of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very obtuse, and that very a what do we call it? Asian
Fusion.
area of rhythm and percussion and
Yes.
stuff, but not barbarianal one, more atonal or monkeyan, maybe. Not
Okay.
monkey. Oh
Yeah.
Christ,
No,
man,
I
what
know,
did I
no,
use? Monks, not
I
monkeys.
know.
Okay, I know now that you mentioned his
Buddhist
uncle.
like.
Yeah, Buddhist.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the monkey. No, it wasn't a throwaway album for
Yeah.
me this
No, it
week.
wasn't. No, no,
No,
no.
it was it was something new for me because I hadn't heard any of the other albums. I knew nothing about this band, this guy, whatever. I would like definitely, like you always say, if it's something interesting, you should go back. And
Yeah.
it's definitely something for me that I should go back on
Yeah.
just so that I can compare and what he was trying to do. So shoo shoo.
Shoo shoo.
I might still like you. But get rid of the Yoko Ono thing.
Yeah, I'm not a completist. I have knife play promise and last year's record. The interpretations are deep here. They're interesting, but incredibly difficult to fathom in the tone and
Hmm.
their position. You'll feel the respect as Jamie pushes to even achieve the vocal of Roy Orbison and a wickedly dark Robin's song, that Dancing on My Own.
Yeah.
Shoo Shoo album came to me without my prior knowledge of the material, which I started in
Okay.
my review. So what I said to you was, yeah, I'm writing down literally. Yeah, this song has, this feels like the band has been taking their talking head off, on this title track, and then I'm like, find out it is a talking head song. So I'm like, okay, all right. Um, remember I said something about sound decisions.
Yes.
All right. So incredibly talented, less obtusian jazz artists on this album. So if you
Okay.
are not aware, Tim Byrne's Snake Oil,
Oh.
excellent musician and
Hmm.
composer, and Mary Halverson is on the record on guitar. Jazz, she's a new staple in a lot of things. Her name must have come up in 2025 now at least 2 to 3 times. Uh,
Really?
yeah, so that's
Nice.
cool to see, can reach across the aisle, right? Great rabbit hole explorations there that we've talked about on this channel. Great sound decisions are the ones you don't see coming, those that are not present at the first listen or completely obvious, like our
Mm.
prior. Go ahead, take a lick or some.
Yep.
You'll find the gifts here. They're obtusely designed, uncompromising musically, because that's how this band is and how they practice to a beautiful haunt. That's their version of lo-fi, where um, they get into the devil and Daniel Johnston.
Yeah.
Daniel Johnston is a very, very odd choice in this, and probably one of those things that's very telling, and a very dark, menacing, incredible story there if you want to go down there. I won't tell you too much, but let's just say he had a meltdown on an airplane
Ooh.
piloted by his father, with the
Oh
family
no.
on board, where he
Oh,
whipped the keys out the window.
jeez. I gotta go there.
So,
All right.
welcome to Volume 1. It's that attachment to a musical position that is truly shoe motherfucking shoe. All right. Honestly, I can't wait to hear Volume 2.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Creator,
Oh, this is too much.
crushers of the world. When I want to get my thrash on, I can easily go to those predictable ones. I can get you Metallica, Megadeth, and definitely will wind up in the Megadeth aisle probably next week. But here was a discovery that I made last year in the little known category for me, because I don't head down this aisle too often. The band Creator from Germany. Yeah. They have the formula without even hearing 1 millisecond of any song. You know it immediately, which is where we're at. The exuberant album covers, the Creator kind of this crypto creative mystique and potential melodic punishment that the covers seem to entice you to. This is not technical thrash. It's not mathematical metal to death progressive infused rock. This is old school in the wheelhouse hard rock metal that's been thrashing and speeding, soloing through this end of the music multiverse for some years now. How many? 40. 40.
What?
40. (1982).
Wow.
Yeah. So, in fact, Crushers of the World is an excellent title and manifesto to their continued commitment to the genre. They stay in their lane, all right, and they whack everything in the lane, all right? It's sort of like a Ray Lewis kind of thing, man. Just stay in your lane and crush everything in it. Good. They
Pressures, yeah.
maintain this to this day, as well as their usual little creeps and haunts that come around in intros and middles. If you don't know that, you'll find out, or those that already know, you already know. The band was originally known as Tyrant. You know, that's a pretty good name. I don't know why they changed that, but
I don't know.
the architect of this is Milan Petroza. Has been at the helm of this since conception, and he's the only original still member. He is pretty much a very well-known name in the other heavy genres. He's joined with Volbeat, Ed Guy, and a little closer to home in and around Slayer's people. So while there are clean, there are also unclean vocals, and they're not a solitary instance on this record where you will go, what is he growling? What is he saying? They definitely make sure the pronunciations, they are like on stage. Even when he's doing that, you can hear what he's saying because he's going to say it how he wants to say it. This sort of crushing delivery of daily life and constant viewpoints of wanton that these creators on the outside world that are trying to ruin creation in awful ways. That's kind of the intent of all of this, maybe.
Okay.
So now I bring Dam to the thrashing table, like, because man, when Deb thrashes out, the complaints in her building are crazy.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Just so you know, don't quit your day jobs because you sounded like Cookie Monster. Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea. The Cookie Monster growl vocal. C is for cookie.
I'm not surprised that this kind of band doesn't have a lot of fun facts. You know, I'm always digging, but
He likes picnics in the park.
no,
A nice day at the beach making sandcastles.
Yeah, I was going to say his other job, he's a floral arranger, you know. No.
At a mortuary.
In a mortuary, yeah. But creator with a K is a demon from German mythology. I'm
All right.
not surprised, okay? Because that's what they like to do. And, when you talk about who their influences are or who they liken themselves to or who they are, making new music in the vein of, you got the Iron Maiden and the Judas Priest and the Motorhead and Metallica and Slayer and Anthrax. But how about Kate Bush and Lana Del Rey?
What?
What? That's who they like, but don't find it here.
Lana Del Rey. Who?
They just want to sacrifice her to the gods.
Yes.
And that's what they want to do. Just look at the names of the songs on this album. They're anxiety producing for me without even hitting play. You got Barbarian and Combatants and Satanic Anarchy, Death Scream, all of that. So that aside, I did listen a few times. I felt that Seven Serpents was a little too screamy for me, but had some good parts. There was some hope there. So even the Satanic Anarchy, that was a little better than even the Seven Serpents. For me, the best one was Loyal to the Grave. I liked that song. I could listen to it from start to finish without me hitting fast forward. Unlike Combatants, that started out promising for about 5 measures. And then I went, no. So out of these types of albums that you've presented to me in the last few years, if I had to rank this one, it's not the worst. So that's actually a compliment to the band.
It is. It is.
It really is. So I really don't have much more to say about it because it was way off the chart different than Richard Marx.
Yes.
And a couple of the other ones we're gonna continue to talk about.
It's gonna get interesting.
You mixed it up for us this week.
So yeah, we're gonna move to the extras. Gonna start off with probably the one that should have been in the listing of writing because I found more enjoyment in it than any of the records. But I've known this artist for a while, and I've never been truly smitten or wowed. But there was always something about this artist that I was like, man, if only. Oh, so close. Or I don't know. Just
okay.
Langhorne, Slim, the Dreamin' Kind. This is the complete Langhorne Slim that I've been waiting for, that I think a lot of people have been waiting for. This is what we've all slightly enjoyed and knew was there, but there was some folk soaked or just, I don't know if they were too heady or whatnot. We got better riffs, intelligent 70s, but also tightness to the overall concept of the blues. The blues never leaves the scene. All right. And it stays, and it's not gregoriously rehashed. It's absolutely tastefully done. The songs that are written and the stories and the positions, they are positions that finally feel like they're shared. Like he doesn't tell you the whole thing so that you can absorb it and bring it to your palate, to your mind, to your life. And the theme on this album and is just really well done. There's a power to this which hasn't presented itself, I don't recall, in any prior record, and I think I have them all. I've always enjoyed, but never felt they were complete. This is very complete. It's a real heavy beating soul in a dreaming concept. I like it to a certain other artist that Deb and myself, a very intriguing blues soul riffing, fantastic, but I'll leave that to her.
Oh, all right. Well, Longhorn is actually the name of the hometown he grew up in Pennsylvania. So that's where he got his little, if you're a blues guy, you got to have a moniker of some sort that harkens back to your roots, I think. But as a 16-year-old Jewish kid, he wanted to be a 300-pound black woman gospel singer.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
it's possible these days.
that is. We could start a GoFundMe for him. He he does stand-up comedy. I think that's interesting.
Hmm.
He's been sober now for 7 years. So I'm wondering if maybe that's where this album becomes a little bit more mature for him. Kind of looking at maybe when people go through that journey, they look at what they learned through it, but also maybe what time they wasted. He mentions, people like Otis Redding and Woody Guthrie and Dylan, storytellers. They all have a little bit of that blues Americana thing going, but he also likes the Clash and Stooges and Strokes, makes that a little bit more interesting when you're writing your music and wanting it to have it be in a genre, but be catchy and a little bit different so that people pay attention. You don't want the same old like Richard Marx was doing earlier in the show. Um, and I felt out of all the albums we did this week, this was by far my favorite. And yes, it did remind me of JJ Grey and Mofro. I love that band. I love what they do. I love how they're not just samey copycat, and they bring something to the table a little bit different to make it more interesting. Now, I don't normally like talking and that kind of thing in songs, but On Fire was actually his grandmother on a voicemail.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool. As far as the songs themselves, Dream Come True was light and plucky. Haunted Man gave me a Neil Young feel. Loyalty had a Black Keys feel. Rickety Old Bridge was Bob Dylan, a little bit storytelling for me. However, in his vein, you could feel some of what he was drawing from, but again, not copycat, samey. Um, awesome album. And yes, this should have been on the top three, but I understand. We all commit and go forward, but awesome. I was very happy with this. I did want to ask you though, how old is he?
No, no.
I don't either. And I'll look him up. You keep talking.
I'm assuming that he is probably in the 40s. That would be my
That's what I'm
guess.
thinking too.
So now we're gonna move on to an artist that I followed since she started, and I've always been like, there's been like moments of like, oh yeah, and then there's been moments of, oh, where are we going? And that's because
Oh,
we couldn't stick a genre, I don't think, or stick to something
yeah.
that plays. But this album, Visions by Alice Merton, is the Alice Merton I like. Edgy, alt, cool licks. There's catchy, reachy, grabby kind of non-elitist pop rock. Now she tends to sometimes get into that part where, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like a Tori Amos. I'm gonna be like a no, 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 no. Um, she's I feel like this has a little bit of soul bearing on it. It's and I like pop pitch. Just don't hit me with it all the bloody time. And this she doesn't. So, and
Yep.
that's really kind of going back to Richard Marx, who even had that. This is the same kind of record of his early records where you have a pop pitch, but there's rock, but there's also alt, there's also edge, there's a little bit of everything in here. And this leads me to my final point, which is that the fact that there's a lot of pieces that would go to her records and they would feel like they're incomplete, like it's not a journey, like it's not I think she's paying attention to making each song stick, having a presence that's ready to not only um, hook you for that particular track, but also lead you into the next, and not be so like offsetting and dropping. There's nothing is more annoying sometimes in recordings is that you got this track that you like and you're in it, and then the next track falls into something completely different
Yeah.
that it's not accessible right away. And there's don't get me wrong, some experiences are meant to be had over and over again, but this one is a shared experience, one of her best in a while. Damn.
Well, she says the themes of this album is of resilience and self-determination. She has suffered from social anxiety and stage fright her whole
Mm.
career, which is interesting because she has classical roots in piano and clarinet. When you have classical roots, you're doing you are in front of people all by yourself all the time in your training. You know, you got your recital and it's
Yeah.
you in front of everybody and you're being judged and judged on so many different technical and creative things. So having that stage fright and social anxiety and overcoming it and to a degree that you're actually making money off of a career that you have to overcome it in every single thing you do, that's amazing to me. Her vocals are very up in my wheelhouse of female vocals. I mean, she
Yeah.
gives me a Florence and the Machine feel. Some of her songs that are more anthemy are like a Pink. Um, where it's powerful but not overdone power, where you're losing the instrumentation behind it. It blends really good together. She says that her musical influences in this outside of classical was Chopin and Rachmaninoff. Those are very austere composers, but Alan Parsons, The Killers,
Ah,
Beatles, The
yeah.
Cure, you know, but she also has an affinity towards very theatrical and cinematography of like an Ingmar Bergman and Andy Warhol. So she's very artistic in many different arenas, and I think you can hear it here. Ignorance is Bliss, love that song.
Yeah.
Visions, the title track, was my Florence feel. On the Wire was my Pink feel. And Jane Street actually had a little bit of a folksy feel in the beginning, like a Mumford and Sons, but I felt like the flow was good on this album. I never felt like sometimes when I'm listening at the beginning of the week, I go, am I listening to a different album? Did I lose? I'm at work. And when I put it on, I go, oh, am I listening to a different artist now? That's
Yeah.
not how this felt for me. It was her. I felt like it was very cohesive and mature. That's what I got.
All right. So now we're gonna move to
Oh
Sweden.
no.
All right. The Sweden's chosen prog metal rockers that have been sort of gaining some space in the genre, some respect, but on their latest, lucky number 7, I actually think
Yeah, I think it
their
is.
luck may be running out, in my opinion. Soen, and the album's name is Reliance. If I were doing this for You Should Listen To.
Eh,
So you like your Lincoln Park plain with no sprinkles? You want to have that been there, heard that lick and riff muttered and neutered perfectly by the late 90s production? You like your hot dog plain? This album lacks spice and sauce that is usually
Yeah.
provided in the ex Opus band members' project, but here we only get a little spilled on it somehow, and I don't even know how we do. That's even seems to be wearing a protective crossover vest or a musical condom. Damn.
I know. I'm so sorry, everybody. Um, well, you just said been there, done that. I have to say that I've enjoyed this band because it's familiar to me their type of music, and it's not over the top. It's something that's kind of now with this album more generic. And you know, they someone isn't even a word. They just wanted to name themselves over something that had no meaning so that you couldn't pigeonhole them, but they did it to themselves. Blah. On this album anyway. They are influenced by Tool, Pink Floyd, Jethro Tull, Genesis, yes, Alice in Chains. Eh. On this album, there were two songs that I did enjoy. I felt Huntress was a little bit interesting with their crescendos and then pulling it back and kind of wanting you to keep listening and seeing what was going to happen there. And then Discordia had a Sleep Token feel to me, and I like Sleep Token. So, however, there is one song on this album that sums it up for me, and it's called Indifferent. So I know I brought them to the table last month or 2 months ago or whatever. That album was way better than this album.
A reliance on attempting to gain favor by dipping one's toe into the well of radio plenty, even if it's high octane radio, isn't a good idea in any way, shape, or form. This doesn't fit for me, and I'm a little bit left stranded by this, as well as people are talking big about this in some cases. But I was glad to see, I've seen another couple of reviews where they went, I just ate a saltine cracker. And if you think I'm going to eat another saltine cracker without some stuff on it, you're out of your mind.
Cheese whiz. We need the cheese whiz on this album.
Whiz. There's some chili I can put, even a nice salami and Gouda. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry, boys.
Yeah,
What
I
did
was
you
hoping.
think of these 6 records, these albums, these attempts to gain your ear? Did it happen? Will it happen? Are you going to go down a rabbit hole of a person who whipped the keys of a plane out the window? I think you should.
Yes.
Let us know what you're thinking, and join us next week for a wild variety again. But the wild variety, our people and bands that are just, there's not going to be too many things that are not known. All right.
Okay. Okay.
One's got the death and the end. Another one is a brilliant guitarist who has been is at the very pinnacle of he can do anything he wants. What else do we have?
Ooh, let's see. I don't know because I don't have it on my list.
No, I didn't give you the list yet.
I don't even know. I'm going to be surprised.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna give you the thing of this record, and I haven't listened to it yet. If you go there, I hope you find it. Now that's a statement that you
Whoa,
take.
Sounds so mysterious.
Yeah. And why I hate, I don't know what's happened with technology these days, but the mouse, right? It used to be very visible on the screen. I could see it. All right. Now I want everybody else to chime in on this more so than the albums. No.
Okay.
Am I getting older that I can't see the mouse anymore? Because I'm just every time I can't find the damn mouse.
Yes, you're over 50. Yes, that's happening. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll thank Dan for being on the show just to tell me how old I am.
I'm a realist.
But I think the great thing is I can say, well, after you.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
I'll always beat you.
We'll do this again next week. We hope you'll join us. Been a lot of fun. Go back and check some things out. the panelist's favorite show from last Thursday, this Thursday, was a riot. Yes, it's an hour and 15 minutes long, but we're talking about 7 panelists. We're talking about the letter B, okay? And yeah,
Yes.
there's the Beatles, but by God, there's a bombastic bunch of on there. And we should have some fun. And I scare the hell out of Jeff Crichton. We're on the
Oh
web.
no.
We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok now. Oh, yes. Articles, videos, podcasts, all about albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching, and happy listening.